All right, guys, so we're going to get into systems of linear inequalities. So we did systems last unit, which was just lines intersecting, finding that point of intersection for a solution. Now we're going to look at inequalities intersecting and finding an overlapping region, shaded region for a solution. So we have some examples here that we're going to use to help practice the skill to solve systems of linear inequalities. And we're going to need some parts, some key facts that go into showing that solution. The first one is when they say the border, they're talking about the type of line you're going to use when you graph. So since we're dealing with inequalities, we have to have, let me get my pencil real quick. We have to have the less than or equal to signs, like here. This is less than, this is greater than, less than or equal to with the line underneath it. So if I have these two symbols, then we're going to use a dash line. So I need you to add this information to your notes page. You can pause the video at any time if you need to kind of make sure you have it recorded. Now, because these set of lines have the line underneath it right here, the equal to, it includes the set, the number, then that's going to be a solid line. So if you see the line underneath the symbol, it's going to mean we're going to draw a solid line. So besides the type of line, we have to know how to shade. So if I have less than or equal to, or less than or equal to, if I have just less than, excuse me, or less than or equal to, we're shading below. So these two symbols here, we use below, and then greater than, where is that right there? Sorry. We're going to shade above. And then our solutions basically are anytime we have points in the overlapping shaded region. So, and that also includes points on the solid line only. So points on the solid boundary line bordering the overlap region would be a solution. So we're going to just practice graphing and showing those overlapping regions and then checking solution points. Sorry. So you are going to need a ruler here. So all these equations are in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So when we graph this, and I'm going to kind of color code these. I'm going to do this first inequality in blue. Let me just fix my font. We just first start with the y-intercept, which is this number 2. So we put the 2 on the y-intercept. And then we graph the slope, or use the slope. Since that slope is a -2, that's the same thing as saying negative, or I'm going to just write it on the side here, m equals -2. Hold on. M equals the -2 over 1. So that means we're counting down 2 and then to the right one. So I'll just go down 2 to the right one, down 2 to the right one. We're just repeating that. You just need that a couple times. And then we're going to line up our ruler here. And the other thing we have to pay attention to when graphing is the type of line. And we know the type of line that we're going to graph based on this symbol. Since that has the line underneath it, this is going to be a solid line. Okay, so it's solid, and because it is greater than, we're going to shade above. So I'm going to line up the ruler first. Let me kind of move my page a little bit. Sorry, guys. And I need to get the points. There we go. So I'm going to line. And we're going to do a solid line here through the points. Oh, that's a little off. Let me fix that. There we go. Like such. And then I'm going to just use a highlighter to do my shading so we can see overlapping colors. So I'm going to start off with blue here. And since it's shade above, that means we're shading to the right of this line over here. So we're going to do the shading. And then we're going to graph the second line, the second inequality. Now for this inequality, we're going to start at the -5 for the y-intercept. And our slope is 1/3. So that means we're counting up 1 to the right 3. Up 1 to the right 3. Or down 1 to the left 3. And this symbol, okay, means we're going to have a dashed line. And because it's also greater than, we're shading above. All right, so I'll line up our ruler here. Let me just get this situated. And we want the edge to go through the points. And to do a dash line, we're just going to do little dashes in between the points. Okay, like such. And we're going to shade above the line. So I'm going to just do a different color here. And if I shade above the line, that would be here, like that. And our solution really is where they overlap. So I tend to ask students to put a capital S where that overlapping section is, so you know where to focus to get your answer. This is S for solution. And also, and I'll talk about this on the next example, if you want to just go straight to the overlapping, you can do that as well. So now we have to answer some questions, and we're going to circle the points that are in the solution set. That would be solution. So if I plot this point 4, 5, so that means to the right 4, up 5. Yes, that's in the overlapping, so I can circle that point. A -3, 1 is not in the overlapping, so this does not work. If I do 5, -1, that is in the overlapping. And then 2, -6, not in the overlapping. So we only have 2 solutions that would, or 2 points that are actually solutions from our set here, but there are many points that would work, but those are the 2 that we're going to use for our example. Now on example 2 here, we're going to start with y is greater than 4x minus 1. So we're going to start with the -1 on the y-axis, is your y-intercept, and our slope is 4. So that means I have to count up 4 and to the right 1. And this would be a dash line. Let me change my font here real quick. This is dash. And since it's greater than, again, it's going to be above. So we need to line up our ruler. I need to line up my ruler through the edge of the points here. Slide it down. We're going to make a dash line. So I'm just going to make my little hyphens in between our points here. So. And we're shading above the line. So that means we're going to shade actually to the left to be above. Then for the second inequality, that's going to be red for me. This now is also going to be a dash line. And because it's less than, we're now going to shade below. So we're going to start off with graphing the y-intercept, which is at the 4 on the y-axis. This is a slope of actually 1. There's like an invisible 1 there. So that means down 1 to the right 1. All right, so if I just repeat that, my points could be just my dashes that I have here. So I don't really need to put dashes in between there. But remember, we're going to shade below. So I'm going to shade below. And if we basically want to see where the overlapping is going to go. So if I shade below, here's where the overlapping is. So if you want to just put the shading where the overlapping is, or just indicate the capital S where the solution set is going to be, that's fine. Okay. Now we got to check each point. So a -1, positive 5, if I go up here, it's on this dotted line. So it's not included as a solution set. It can only be included if it's on a solid line. So I cannot use this because it's on the dotted line. Then we have 2, -4. That's not even in the overlapping. That's over here. We have 6, -2. Again, not in the overlapping. And then -5, 3, that is in the overlapping. So there's only one that works on this example. Okay. All right, so let's talk about example 3 and 4, because now we have some special types of lines that we have to kind of just review real quick. The first one is in slope-intercept form. Oops, sorry. So we're going to graph it like normal. -1 is our y-intercept. Our slope is 5/3, so that's counting up 5 and to the right 3. and it's a solid line. So all we need really is 2 points to graph. So I'm just going to go ahead and let me just line up my points on my ruler. Like such, slide it. All right, we're going to make this solid line. Hold on. This is slightly off. Let's fix it this way. It's a little bit better. This might be a little off on mine. Sorry about that. Okay, so solid line. And we're going to shade because it's less than. This is a less than right here. So that means we're going to shade below the line. So that would be over here. Let me move my ruler. Oops. Let me. Nope, it's not going to let me move it. Hold on. All right, back to what I was trying to shade below. All right, and then what we have to remember is this type of line. Whenever it's y equal a number, like such, whenever we have that, this is a number symbol, sorry, then this is going to be a horizontal line. Okay, so what we have to do is go to that y-intercept before, and we're going to do a dash, because it's a dash line here, and it's horizontal. Because it says this is less than, this would be below the line. The shading would be below. So I just want to go to the overlapping, because like this is the shading below, all of that. But I'm just going to go where they overlap, which is right here. Okay. And that indicates the solution set. So I'm going to put a capital S. To do that in black, sorry. Capital S. And now we can check our points. I want you to go ahead and check your points on this one. 4, -2, that's a yes. That's because that's right here. 6, 4, that's above the overlapping. Where's my 6? And then 4, no, it's on the dotted line, so that doesn't work. And then 2, -1, that does work. And this also works. All right. And then our last one here, we also have slope-intercept form for the first one. But here on the second one, and anytime it's x equals a number, it's going to be a vertical line. So you're shading, because it's a vertical line, that means up and down. You're shading greater than it's going to be to the right and less than it's going to be to the left. So let me just show you that real quick. Our y-intercept is at 3 for the first equation. Our slope is a -4/5, so that means we have to count down 4 and to the right 5. And then we're going to have a solid line through those points. Okay, so let me get my ruler back to where it's supposed to be. Sorry, this is. All right, so we got a solid line, and we're going to shade below the line. All right, so our shading would end up being, oops, sorry, here, like such. Then we're going to do our vertical line. X is greater than 2, so I go to 2 and draw a vertical. Remember, oops, that's crooked, but let me fix that real quick. Because actually it's supposed to be a solid line, so let me undo that. All right, so there's our vertical line. So greater than is to the right. All the numbers to the right would be greater. Less than would be to the left. So it kind of matches the arrow. Wherever the arrow is pointing here, that's where we're going to shade. So this is pointing to the right, so we're going to have to shade over here. So the overlapping, like this, oops, sorry, I went this yellow. This is shading to the right, but the overlapping only happens in this section here. Okay, we don't really need this section as part of our solution set. We just need the overlapping. And then we're just going to check the points. All right, so we check our points here. Well, anything over here in the negative section is not going to work. So I can know that's gone. 2, 3, that's not in the overlapping. 5, -1, yes. And 4, -6, yes. Okay. All right, so that takes care of your notes. After your notes, we're going to do this little activity to check your understanding. So on this worksheet, the lines, let me get to the top, sorry, right here. The lines are graphed for you. You just got to do your shading, okay? The boundary line of each inequality has been graphed. So you just got to check which line goes. Now, I know yours is not color-coded, but You kind of just go to your key facts. So like on, for example, here, because it's less than or and equal to, that would mean this would have to be a solid line. Okay. And it's also going to be vertical. So this is this line here. And because this is less than, we would shade to the left for less than. So right now, our answer possibilities are M or R, okay? Because we're going to shade the correct solution area for the system and then record the corresponding letter in that box, so in the box below. So where the overlapping is, what letters in the overlapping is going to be our solution. Now, on the second inequality here, the this is not in slope-intercept form, so just kind of remember to do that. You just say minus x. Okay, so this is going to be 2y is greater than negative x plus 6, and then you divide everything by 2. Okay, so y is greater than negative 1/2 x plus 3, which matches right there. And since it's greater than, this symbol right here, let me just kind of get this, symbol is greater than, so that means we're shading above, and we're looking for the overlapping, where the solution would be, and the overlapping is here, so that would be the M. So we go down to number 1 here, in the box, we're going to put the letter, we're going to put the letter M. And then we're going to check the next one. All right, so for our first one here, y is greater than 2. That's a horizontal line. And I'm just going to abbreviate. And it would have to be dash because of that symbol. So right here, greater than would be shading above the line. So now we're looking at A or R. Then we need to shade the second one. It is also greater than, so it would be above the line as well. And then we are looking for the overlapping, and the overlapping happens with the A. All right. All right. So that's what we're doing here, okay? Just do your shading to get to your answer. I'll do one more with y'all. This is greater than, and it's a horizontal line. So that would be above. And then obviously on here, this would be less than, and so it would be below the line. And then we're looking for the overlapping, and the overlapping is here. All right, so get this sheet turned in. This will be a grade, and then we'll just check you off on your notes. All right, thanks.